Wally has just done something extremely dangerous at work. He finished his task early. He sends the update, closes his laptop at exactly 5, and leaves like a man who believes employment is an exchange of labor and time for money. His manager looks across the office and realizes Wally is gone. The manager starts thinking, does Wally even care? Wally ends up in HR for lacking dedication. He thinks he completed the job. His manager thinks he failed the ritual. That one misunderstanding explains a surprising amount of Gen Z workplace drama. Wally grew up with shared documents, group chats, school portals, remote classes, video calls, and apps that update faster than the employee handbook. To him, a task has a simple shape. You get the task, you do it, you deliver it. Workday ends, you leave. For older managers, productivity became linked to visibility. Sitting at a desk for 9 hours looking stressed registered as hard work. This is the professionalism trap. Wally has no interest in being rude or torching office culture with one efficient workflow. He thinks the work is done. Gen Z prioritizes getting the job done over looking like they're getting the job done. When a Gen Z worker uses an AI tool to finish a spreadsheet in 20 minutes and logs off, they see that as acting their wage. To an older manager, the missing performance of struggle reads as an alarm. No long sighs near the printer, no dramatic walk past the meeting rooms with a notebook. The manager reads efficiency as a lack of drive. Did Wally stay visible? Did he do the hallway conversation where everyone agrees they're getting there, even though nobody is sure where there is? Did he send the update in a tone that says, "I am a serious professional"? The curse of knowledge is a cognitive bias, where once you know something, your brain forgets what it felt like to not know it. A veteran manager has picked up office rules through tiny, painful moments. When to speak and when to stay quiet, when to copy someone into an email, and when copying someone into an email is an act of war. They know how to say, "This deadline is impossible," without sounding like they're about to organize a rebellion. When that manager sees Wally pack his bag at 5, the curse of knowledge does its damage. The manager assumes Wally knows the unwritten rule about staying late to show face, and is choosing to ignore it. They miss the obvious explanation. Wally is operating on the written contract. Work ends at 5. Younger workers entered the workplace through a very strange doorway. Remote pandemic learning, online onboarding, first jobs where company culture was muted through video calls and frozen screens, and people in pajamas saying, "Sorry, I think you're frozen." Many younger workers never absorbed the informal office lessons that older workers picked up by being in the room. This is where the glitches turn into weapons. Many companies have decided to punish younger workers for failing to play a game they were never taught. Instead, the workplace invented a weaponized buzzword: quiet quitting. Quiet quitting usually means doing the job you are paid to do within the hours you are paid to do it, without adding a hidden donation of extra labor on top. In any other transaction, that is a fair trade. If you buy a coffee, you do not expect the barista to wash your car for free to show initiative. Log on, do your work, log off to live your life, and the system can start to see you as a threat. You are breaking the illusion that the office is the most important thing in the world. The system may pass you over for promotions or fire you for refusing to pretend. In the old workplace, you looked committed if you arrived early and stayed late. You looked leadership ready if you walked through hallways holding a notebook. The old signal was presence. Being valuable was measured by visibility. Digital work broke that assumption. An empty chair reads as not engaged. Leaving on time reads as no ambition. Declining extra unpaid work reads as attitude. The professionalism trap rewards the appearance of effort over the evidence of output. Workers who finish cleanly but skip the traditional signs of suffering get penalized. Wally is not automatically right just because he finished the task. Sometimes the work is done, but nobody knows what happened. Leaving at 5 is reasonable. Disappearing without an update makes the team nervous. The third problem is signal mismatch. Wally sends "the work is complete." His manager receives "I do not care." Wally feels judged for being efficient, so he gets quieter. The manager reads the quietness as disengagement and watches him more closely. Wally feels watched, so he becomes defensive. The manager reads the defensiveness as a bad attitude. The whole thing has become a workplace translation problem. Every generation enters the office and annoys the people already there. Millennials got labeled entitled. Gen X got labeled cynical. Someone probably told the boomers that calculators were destroying moral character. Gen Z arrived during a workplace identity crisis. Remote work changed the rules. The pandemic cut off the informal lessons that used to transfer by proximity. And cost of living pressure changed how younger workers calculate loyalty. Gen Z is chasing output. Many managers are still rewarding performance. When nobody bridges that gap, efficiency reads as disrespect.
Wally patches the glitch with one rule. He has no interest in faking busyness. He makes the work visible. Before logging off, he shares 3 things with his manager. Here is what I completed. Here is the result or decision. Here is the next step, or here is where I need input. The goal is to remove ambiguity. If Wally used automation, he frames it. I automated the repetitive part so I could spend more time on the review. I finished the report early. Unless something urgent comes up, I am logging off at 5. That sounds like managing the work. Wally builds trust by making the output visible. Managers need a patch too. If the only way to prove you care is by looking tired or acting busy, you are measuring theatre, not commitment. A better manager asks, what value did the work add? And did we teach the hidden rules, or are we punishing people for not guessing them? Professionalism should not be a secret handshake. If urgency matters, name it. If being online after 5 is expected, stop calling it flexibility. The hidden rules only feel obvious to the people who survived them. That is the curse of knowledge. The empty chair only looks lazy when managers believe work lives inside the chair. That is the professionalism trap. If you're Wally, do the work, show the output, and name the next step. If you manage a Wally, check the signal before judging the person. A worker can be efficient, quiet, and still care about doing a good job. The workers who thrive make their value clear without turning every workday into performance art. Gen Z is getting judged when their efficiency collides with old workplace signals. The old signal says, "Look busy." Gen Z says, "The work is done." Translation is the patch. Clear your cache. See you in the next glitch.